Hello to all my friends and listeners. I am Vinay Srivastav and I am back with another episode of Vincast. Sometimes when we hear a good speech, we say, "Wow, what a wonderful speech." We are awed by the speaker's persona. We think that yes, someday we will also be able to deliver speeches like that. Someday we will also be a good speaker like that. What is it that makes a person a very good speaker? Is it good English or a very good command over his language, or his comfort over grammar and using difficult words, or his personality, his voice? What is it that makes him an outstanding speaker? So in today's episode, let's decipher this meaning of a good speaker. The first thing that comes to my mind when I think of a good speaker is story. The message that he is trying to communicate is communicated best through a story. And there cannot be anything better if that person is trying to put his own story from his life or whatever he has experienced. When a message is communicated with the help of a story, then it is understood much better. So speaker must have a good story while he is delivering a speech. The second component of a speaker is, after S, is P, and that P is practice with pauses. The person who is delivering a speech must make sure that he practices well. Sometimes the best of the speakers fail because at the time of delivering a message or communicating a thought process, they are not able to organize the structure of the speech, organize what they are trying to say, and sometimes they say certain things first and then something which is supposed to be spoken later, they are said first. And that is the reason why we make sure that we do enough practice. And while we are delivering the speech, we must acknowledge and make sure that we are pausing. We are giving pauses so that the listeners are able to assimilate the essence of the story or the essence of the speech that we are trying to give. The third important part is eye contact. While we are speaking to our audience, it is important for us to make a connect with them. And how do we make a connect? Is by directly looking in their eyes. Like a butterfly sits on each flower and sucks the nectar out of that. Similarly, each speaker must look into the eyes directly of his audience. It may not be possible to look into the eyes of each and every person, but then as far as possible, as much as possible, a good speaker must make sure that he is directly looking into the eyes when he is giving the speeches. The fourth most important point in speaker is after SPE is A, which is ask. When somebody asks the questions to the audience, they engage with them. They build a rapport with them. They make sure that they are taking audience in their journey, in their speech, and making them a part. And that is how they build a bond. The fifth point of the speaker is K, and that is know your audience. We must make sure that before we deliver the speech, we are generally aware of the audience, whether it is young, whether it is old, what exactly do they do, are they students or they professionals, and this helps us curate our speech, our language, what we are going to speak, so that it suits them, they are able to understand that. That is why it is said that when you give a speech, don't speak what you want to communicate. Speak what the audience wants to hear. And in that way, your message gets communicated very nicely. The second last point in a speaker is E. And that E is enjoy. Most of the times while giving speeches, we are so tense that we forget to enjoy. And when we do that, we miss out points. We do not remember what we want to communicate. Enjoyment is the most important thing while delivering a speech. If we enjoy our speeches, then the whole body movement, the whole posture, everything becomes light. And when there's no tension, the speech delivery becomes better. The final point in the speaker's journey is R. What is this R that I'm talking about in the end? And that R is receptiveness. The speaker must make sure that they are receptive to the audience gesture, audience responses, and they acknowledge it by way of nod, by way of facial expressions, by hand gestures. And finally, before closing the speech, again R, they must reinforce the point that they are going to speak, so that it is communicated in a much better way. This reinforcement helps a better conclusion of the speech, and the audience remembers it for a much longer time. I'm sure if we make use of all these pillars of SPEAKER, then we can be a better speaker. Thank you.